Hello and good evening, YouTube. It's Alex Lowe here on the ITRL Racing Network, welcoming you to the first ever ITRL Racing League VRX GT3 Series race tonight from the virtual Daytona International Speedway, the road course. It's the first time in league history we're having a actual road course series with road cars. We'll be using the GT3 cars. There are 6 cars the drivers had a choice to choose from to go out here and run, I believe, 8 races, if I counted right. Back at the schedule real quick. And if I can find it. It is 8 races. We start here at the virtual Daytona International Speedway and end at the virtual Road America, my home track. Pretty interesting schedule. 8 weeks, the next 8 Tuesday nights, you'll be here with us watching the talented field go around and around and around and around multi-turn tracks. Right now, they're currently out on the course right now for qualifying. They get 15 minutes of group qualifying. Something really new and unique with this series. Also new and unique with the series is that it'll be a timed race. Each race will have its own time distance. Majority of them are going to be a 1-hour race. There's a couple 2-hour races in there, but it's a unique, different series where giving an opportunity to run here. Right now, with about 5-ish minutes gone in the session, your current provisional pole sitter is Luke Charbonneau. I'm hoping I pronounced these names right. I went try to give him some pronunciations on them, and the room was quiet, so Luke is currently your provisional pole sitter here with about 8.5 minutes left to go in qualifying. We look to have 15 cars coming out here in attempting to qualify for tonight's event, including our reigning ITRL Racing League Premier Series champion, Ray Rittenauer. He's out there right now. He's in the Mercedes. Quick little information for you guys. So when you go around looking at everything here on screen, the make a car will be designated by the color on the graphics here. Blue is a BMW, the red's Ferrari. You're going to have the Mercedes, teal, green, whatever color you want to call it. Purple's going to be for Audi, gray's going to be Porsche. Each car is going to be have their own color around it, so when you go out there, you can kind of give a clue of what you see in what car. Wide variety of talent we have in here tonight, but with about 7.5 minutes left, I think it'd be a good time to go ahead and get some national anthems out of the way so we can come back, go over your starting lineup for tonight's event, and get this Daytona, Florida Grand Prix underway.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Oh, so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular
Alrighty, some cars are finally finishing up their final lap here out in qualifying. Unique compared to like we see on the oval side of things. If you get your lap time started before the end of the session, before that final 2-minute mark, that final 15-minute mark of the session, you have an opportunity to go out there and complete your lap. If you get across the line when there's 2 seconds left, you have that whole time to go back out there and complete your lap. It looks like Luke Charbonnet, Eric Poe, Kevin Freeze, Brandon Pamicat, Kevin Hash, Chris Gale, Preston Knott, Brian Klusterhoos, Carson Etheridge, all Paul Smith seem to all potentially have gotten to the line before the end of that 15-minute mark. We're pretty much playing a 2-minute wait game to see who can get their lap time done and whatnot. But right now, it looks like Charbonnet should be your provisional pole sitter for race number 1. First ever ITRL VRX GT3 series race. We like to thank also VRX Simulators for coming on board, sponsoring they sponsored our premiere series on the oval side of things last season, and they decided to come on board for our first venture into road racing with road cars. And it does look like nope, Chris Gale is still on track in that number 44 Mercedes, currently eighth fastest on the chart. It looks like he'll come across the line, complete his last lap. And that potentially looks to be everyone else. Everyone else is just sitting on pit road. Doesn't look like their time. Complete 29 seconds. It's remaining for people to go out there and complete that time. And does not look like anyone's currently on the racetrack. With that being said, I'm gladly going to go ahead and go over your starting lineup for tonight's Daytona, Florida Grand Prix. Luke Charbonnet. Took my lap times away. Anywho, Luke Charbonnet is your provisional pole sitter tonight in that BMW M4 GT3. Starting on the outside front row will be Eric Drapeau in the number 97 Audi R8 LMS. In row number 2, we'll see Ray Rittenauer, your defending current Iron Thunder Racing League Premier Series champion, the last champion currently in the league. He is inside row number 3. Outside row number 2, we'll see Oliver again. We'll hopefully get these better going forward here. Oliver Turcotte, he's in the Ferrari. We see Kevin Freeze, Brandon Pamitat in row number 3. Kevin Hash, Chris Gale, row 4. We see Matthew Badu and Tristan Knott, both in Ferraris in row number 5. In row number 6, we'll see Brandon Klusterhoos in Carson Etheridge. In row number 7, ignore that starting car. He did put down the 13th fastest time in all of qualifying. Race admin Dylan Hale. On the outside will be Paul Smith in number 14 Ferrari. In row number 8, but moving up to row number 7, we'll be seeing number 47 Porsche, Jason Redbush. It doesn't look like potentially David Tamara is here. And I see him potentially run a lap in qualifying. And Rob Stewart, your 17th and final starter in tonight's series debut. So it looks like we got 16 cars, 15 when everything's all said and done coming out here tonight to Daytona International Speedway. Let's go ahead and go over some of your track facts. Like I said, Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona Beach, USA. The track was opened in 1959 when Bill Frank Sr. said, hey, we need something big and interesting and fun. The track is about 4 miles. I think it's like 3 and change. And there's 12 turns. Weather going into tonight, we'll see races actually taking place on today's date. Time is about right, 8 minutes off. It's partly cloudy with an air temp of 67 and a track temp of 69. Nice. Relative humidity is 1% with the winds coming out of the east. Depends where you're on the track at 5 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and get a quick track layout for you. All this 12 turns. You can see a lot of it different than what we're used to, especially when we go down to turn number 1, hard braking to turn 1. Quick little left, right here to hard right-hander in 4. A quick little bend going left in turn number 5. Another hairpin in turn 6. Come back onto the track. The banked oval here through 7, 8. All the way through the bus stop in 9, 10, 11, and back on the oval to come back around the lab. That being said, the iRacing.com looks to be the Porsche race car. It's going to get ready to make that hard left-hand turn down pit road. And that means race number 1 out of the Iron Thunder Racing League VRX GT3 series is underway. Everyone looks to make it through the first couple of turns. They're getting through turn number 5, that fast left-hander, trying to get all the way slowed down going into turn number 6 here. Luke seems to keep the lead here. It's over Ray right now. We're currently in 2nd. A little further back here, Oliver is currently staying here in 4th place. Again, it looks like everyone's just keeping it clean through here. This Badon I wanted to go on board with. Look to be side by side coming off of turn number 6, going through 7, back on 8. And it looks like Carbonet is going to pull about a 7/10 of a second gap here over right now, or going into the bus stop. Now, the bus stop is one of those turns on this track where you could potentially make an overpass. It's not a likely spot because it's one of those where you go left, right, left. It's a risky situation. It's one of those passing spots. Another one is to build a draft here going to the start-finish line and see if you can take it, overtake it into turn number 1. As we do have our first problem with the race, it looks to be Jason Raudenbush. Let's go back and see what happened here, as it looks like he's calm up front. Looks to be going into the bus stop. Oh, and it just runs a little bit too much speed in there. Goes wide and just loops it around. Does not make contact. Should be able to go perfectly fine. Things calm down as of right now. Bernard does get to the back bumper of Charbonnet going into turn number 4. Don't really have much to do there. It's not really much. It's a passing situation. You have to find your passes here. Pretty much send it in there and hope it works. That's not here in his Ferrari. Currently running P9, looking to potentially be passed here by Pamicat. On the outside, coming in through turn number 7 to head back into the banked portion of the track. Pamicat will go ahead and look like, yep, go ahead and complete the pass. Treston is going to go ahead and dip behind him. Is our in-race reporter if we want to talk to him. And there happens to be more problems. This time it looks to be with the 44 machine of Chris Gale. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Why is he running all by himself? Entering what looks to be turn 6. Oh, and it just loops under braking. Oh, and there's more problems! I don't think there's actually a problem there. He's still in 2nd place. I think this thing's lying to me. Let's see what happened to Ray right now here. Is it just gonna count him for his off track? Oh, he blinked. He disappeared. Racing.com Motorsport Simulation for you, folks. Connections will have you doing crazy things. things look to be calm out front. Threes, Kevin Hash, the two Kevins in the field. See if they can battle it out here for 5th place. A little further on back in the pack. Amitat trying to pass Purdue. And it looks like he'll complete here going into the fast left-hand corner here in turn number 5. Purdue potentially under attack here from what looks to be Trust and Not. I got close there, was not able to do much. Amitat now going to go on the other Brandon. And he's moving through the field. He did probably start. Oh, he started 6th. Interesting. Was he back here today? Did he have a terrible start? Have a little bit more trouble here with the 47 machine and Jason Rowdenbush. All by himself. This just another potential connection issue? I'm not real sure. But the lead has run down to about 1 second. Charbonnet over Rittenauer. Going into turn number 1, closes in on it. Big. About 1 second gap. Kirkhope sitting here in P4 behind Drapeau. These two are teammates for SFTV Sim Sports. Amitat did get it around Kluser Hughes this lap, last lap. He's now up to 7th place. In race we did yesterday, he was pretty fast. Oh, we have problems. What happened? Oh, there's a car around before that. It looked to be Rittenauer. What on earth happened here? We're going to watch it all unfold. This was P2 entering turn 6. Gotta get hard on those brakes for that fast right-hander, from that fast left-hander. He goes around. Hash has to react to it. Freese has to react to it. Hash goes through the grass. Freese was able to keep it going. Hash goes around. Trouble at the front of the field. That was P2. Oh boy, and we're only 7 minutes into this. Trouble everywhere. Has some side-by-side action there. We'll look to B. Smith, Etheridge. Ray Rittenauer is going to now try to mount the comeback here, as he is about 15 seconds behind the leader. Looks like he's getting a little bit of a block there from Etheridge. And down to turn number 1, we're going to be side-by-side between that Doritos machine of Paul Smith and that Porsche of Etheridge. Rittenauer looks to potentially complete the pass here on Etheridge, and his next target will be... Oh, no, he doesn't complete. Has to get into turn number 4. They're side by side, giving Paul Smith an opportunity to increase that gap on about a second. He'll complete into the fast left-hander here, going back down into turn 6, and oh no, Etheridge goes around! Oh! How is it? That's not solid in there? Oh boy! Usually when you head to the fence on these tracks, it's usually solid. Watch this again. And there's the fast right-hander and just loses control. And usually when you start going towards those fences, it just usually means race over because you're making solid contact. But it looks like those fences are not solid at this track. Out front, pulled about a 3-second lead here over Drapeau and Charbonnet. And not really missing much for the lead. Battle for P2 here as Oliver Kirkhope gets the inside of Eric Drapeau. Drapeau in the Ferrari, Drapeau in the Audi. Looks like Oliver is going to go ahead and make the pass here, going into 1 for 2. That's not getting a little bit better of a draft here on Badu. As Rittenauer does get around Paul Smith, now sets his eyes on Rob Stewart, who's in P8. Now you're seeing pit stops from Kevin Freeze. Interesting, not interesting. Odd. Pit road. Let's see what happens here. Racing behind, but oh, he just sends it a little bit too far and happens to him. Get some left front damage. Gonna have to tow. Lose a lot of time. It's pretty much playing on pit road. Let's go ahead and pull him up here. He is our in-race reporter and see what he has to say about that. I can't move him. Never mind. Why? That's rude. All right. Never mind. I don't have the power to move him up. Things looks to call him out just a tiny bit here. About 12 minutes into the session, Charbonnet has about a 3-second lead over Turcoat. As opposed to P3 now. It's a tricky track to get to start with, but once you start to understand the track layout a little bit, it's going to improve. It looks like Turcoat is closing in on Charbonnet just a tiny bit. Never mind, the gap closes out. Just looks like he was entering the corner. Let's go ahead and ride on board real quick to see what he's doing real quick. Again, with your leader, Charbonnet. We'll go ahead and compare him with P5 Boosterhoose. And we'll come back here to turn 7. So through those sharp hairpins, doesn't look like he's doing much. Staying in second gear through there. You take his time, try to get all the way up to 6th gear, getting as much speed as he can. And these are the fastest portions of the track. Potentially use that draft to gain on people in front of you. Down to 4th, does not look like he goes through 3rd through here. Another one of the situations, if you hit those turtles, I think we're going to call them turtles. They changed the bus stop here a couple of years ago, right before the iRacing 24 hours. You hit one of those, it upsets a car, and you'd be potentially going off track. But yeah, it's pretty much just seeing it wide open 6th gear here. It's going to probably hit the brakes right. You start to turn into turn number 1, it gets down to 2nd gear. The 4th. Does not get up to 5th. Probably should sit back down to 2nd here. And it's going to be as many gears as you can get here. Up to 5th, and it's going to be probably back down to 2nd here into the last true hairpin on the course. That is a lap around this place with Luke Charbonnet. But we do have some incidents to talk about here. First, let's talk about make sure I get the star number correctly. Where is Badu? It says Matthew Badu had an incident here on lap 7. Let's see what happens. It's going into the bus stop. Oh, and it just doesn't look like it gets slowed down enough for him. He pretty much has issues. And then there's Paul Smith. Paul Smith was the next one on my list who had problems. We'll go ahead and go on. What happened here? This time coming out of the bus stop. It just doesn't look like it got turned there for the last portion. Jason Rodenbush also had issues on lap number 7. Again, into the bus stop. Seems to be the trouble part right now. 7 laps into the race. This time it's just under braking. Oh! That is a hard lick into the tire barriers. I'm surprised he was able to keep going. Kevin Freese looks like he's potentially leaving pit road. Let's see what happened to him. He made a pit stop last time by. Into the bus stop. He's behind. Oh, he just glitched because of graphic errors. He started from pit road, so you won't see the name of Gale, and you have just the graphical there. Nothing really happened to him. But some pit stops have been made already. I don't know if it's by choice or because of an accident. Ethridge was because of an accident. Brown Bush was because of an accident. Breeze looks like he came down, potentially took fuel only. 9.5 seconds in the box. Gale started from pit road. Interesting, not also had to tow. Things have really looked to calm down just a tiny bit here from the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Charbonnet has increased his lead to 3.5 over Turcotte. Habitat has made his way through the field. He's, after what looked to be a iffy start from him, he's now up to P4. Some 8.5 seconds behind Eric Drapeau in P3. Ryan Klisterhuis, quiet start for him. He's gained 6 spots though. He's up to P11. Through the quarter mark of this race. At the line, let's go ahead and see what Brandon does for shifting around this point. On the side, really trying to see what he does. Coming across the line here. Brandon, about the same point, let off when you start to turn left into turn number 1. Second gear up to third. Fourth. Kind of curious to see what he does here through the hard right-hander here, the first hairpin. Looks like he'll keep it in second gear. Should be able to get all the way up to 5th gear here through the fast left-hand kink. All the way down to second. This does not look like there's a point on this track where anyone's going to get down to first gear. Potentially in this last left-hand corner going into oval turn 1. And that keeps it in second gear. That's wrong camera. Keeps it pinned on the bottom line like you normally do in a stock car. Let's see where he brakes. 2 marker going in here. He's going to keep it in 4th. So there, no problem. And he's going to keep it on. Keep it on the yellow line here. And the fastest way around the track's on the yellow line. It's going to be all the way up to 6th gear. And that's a lap. And that's going to potentially be about another 146. You can see there on his dashboard. He ran a 145.6. Interesting. Lap from Klisterhuis. Well, there looks to be trouble from Gale. Let's see what happened. Probably not going to see what happened. We're on board with the 44 machine of Chris Gale. He's in Mercedes. We're going to lose him here. And he just shows back up, goes into the bus stop. You run wide? No. It's a little bit of a hop, and that hop right there spins him out. Hop right there spins Gale out. Gale currently P12 after starting from pit road. Don't look now, we might have a battle for second again between Turcotte and Drapeau. Drapeau closed in that gap from about a second or so back. He's now about 0.2 of a second here off the bus stop. mentioned earlier, getting as good of a run off that bus stop as he can. Potentially step of the pass going into number 1. Using the draft off of Turco. Gonna look on the inside, using that slingshot move we usually see on the oval. And he's gonna go ahead and complete the pass on Turco. He's now back up to P2. Anything for that 92 machine. He's about 4.3 seconds in front of the field. Ray Rittenauer hasn't been really able to capitalize, get back through the field here after his spin early on in the race. He's stuck around that P8, P9 position, currently behind Matthew Badu. Turco might have something to say here about P2 again, because we've got to be potentially closing in on our one and only pit stop of the race. Now, we will need about 1 pit stop, take fuel, take tires. And it looks like Drapeau's able to extend that gap off of the bus stop here through bank 3 and 4. Turco's going to get that draft, but it's not going to be enough in time to potentially do anything in turn 1, so it's going to have to sit here and formulate that run again. Kevin Hash is closing in on Rob Stewart here for 6th. He's about half second behind him. Coming through bank 3 and 4. He's closing in. Has a draft. Looks like potentially Rob looks like he's going to go ahead and give up that position here. Move Kevin Hash back up to P6 after his early struggles. Right now, we're currently dealing with a lap trap Etheridge. He's going to go ahead. Etheridge has that blue and yellow flag on his screen right now telling him going a lap down. As Etheridge go ahead and give the position to Rittenauer, who has to close in on Badu. He lost some time there. He got to get down about 9/10 of a second. Now he has gone back out there. There is 2 cars currently off the track. Jason Rodenbush and Tress Knott both had issues early on making contact with the wall. I don't know if they're both sitting on pit road. Tone fixing damage. It looks like both those drivers may have called it a night tonight. First 2 DNFs of the VRX GT3 series. Turco was able to get a little bit better of a run this time down the front straightaway. But again, not able to really do anything into the front stretch. Into turn number 1. Had to sit there and try to recuperate this again. The key here, you're unable to make any other pass through any other turns on the track. He's coming off the bus stop. What I've seen in most of the races done at this track, 24-hour your official poster races, is that bus stop portion. If you're right behind someone, it's key to get out there good. Key to get out there good, be within a couple tenths of a second. Use the track, build a run, slingshot in a turn. That is the most important part. This is also another important part on the track because, again, building an opportunity to build a run to potentially overtake into the corner. Right now, Turco, it's about 6 tenths of a second off. That number is currently going down. He's currently gaining on him as Badu is on pit road, potentially a scheduled pit stop. And about 4/10 of a second going into the bus stop. Where he is coming off. Victor Poe gets a better run through the bus stop, 6/10 of a second. Is the difference here. And he's got the draft. Opportunity to try to build a run and see if you're able to do anything into turn one. As they're actually coming down pit road. Leader, Charbonnet, Drapeau, Dracote, all scheduled pit stops 25 minutes into the event. They each have a big enough gap. Hammer Attack comes down pit road as well. Might be fuel only. I think a lot of fuel to go into these machines. Close your Pierce. Looks like potentially fuel only for Charbonnet. Fuel only 16.5 second stop for Turcoat. 22 second stop for Drapeau. Ooh, boy, he's gonna lose that spot there. Looks like everyone's pitting this time by. Kevin Freeze, though, who did hit earlier. Currently on lap number 9. Let's give you about 15 laps is the max you can get. Now the question is, it took 25 minutes. So this is going to be a potential 2-stop race. All right, 25 minutes down, another 25 minutes, so you're looking at about 10-minute mark. How's the range potentially freeze a pit? He might be able to kind of go ahead. He's got about another 6 laps and another, give or take, 8-10 minutes. And then come back down for his last stop when everyone else has to make their stop. And he only came down, again, 9 laps ago, so about 15-ish minutes ago. Took about 9.5 seconds worth of fuel in his pit stop. He might have done the reverse. And he did get slowed up because of an incident there between Rittenauer and the hash there in turn number 5. He might have an opportunity here to do the reverse and potentially sneak his way into a podium position. But Charbonnet's lead also has gone down significantly because of that pit stop. And Turcoat was about 4 seconds quicker on pit road. There is a difference here on Charbonnet. Keep your eye on Kevin Friesen when he goes and comes back down pit road for his second stop. I would expect that anywhere between, again, in the ballpark range. We're talking about ballpark range. It's already on lap 10 of this run. We've seen these guys go about 15 coming to 16 on them. 14 coming to 15. In about 4 coming to 5 laps, we should be seeing Freeze come down pit road for anywhere between 7-8 minutes. And there looks to be a problem. Bob Stewart, Badeau. See what happens here. Oh, Badeau just sends it in there. Trying to complete an overtake on Rob Stewart. There's a little bit of an exchange over the radio for that one. Upset on that one. Let's see here. Kevin Hash, he's currently up to 6th place. And the running order is a little bit different than what we've seen before because, again, you do have Kevin Freeze out there. 10 laps on his run. You do see some strategy from Kevin Hatchray, Rittenauer, and company in the Premier Series. So this isn't potentially out of the realm of possibility. Kevin Freeze coming and trying to do something different, potentially do the reverse, get that slow stop out, get the shorter stop out of the way before that long stop. I smell something potentially brewing between Badu and Rob Stewart. Closest battle on track, the lead is now up to about a second and a half between Carbonate and Poe. I'm really curious what happened to Poe on his pit stop. Chris Gale's currently on pit road, so he had issues. Let's see what his issue was. Into the bus stop. I think he might have said this is it. I've had enough. What are the colors of each manufacturer? We'll go ahead and pull up the car manufacturers again. On our score bug here. The red is Ferrari, the gray is a Porsche. BMW is blue. Audi is a pink, and then Mercedes turquoise, green, whatever you want to call that color. And it's off their 2022 F1 livery. That is your manufacturer colors again. Thanks for asking that in chat. I'm willing to bring that information up or any information you guys are wanting to know. I did say there's a potential battle brewing here for P10. Go ahead and pull up the rulebook just to verify this real quick. I do believe we had to talk about those point-paying positions. I said, ooh, but dude does get to the back bumper, or Stewart. The dude does look like he is faster than that 76 machinist Stewart. You're gonna see a potential chance to overtake here. As we're now closing in on this potential last stop, anywhere could happen again, anywhere here in the next couple minutes, because take a look. Kevin Freeze, he's currently on lap number 12 of a run. He pitted 6 laps in, so you can potentially see some drivers come in and play some strategy and come and get that last bit of fuel they need in. So the potential fuel window of opportunity to make it to the end is open up any minute here. Yeah, top 10 gets points. 21 points given to first, 18 points to second, 15 to third, fourth place gets 12 points, fifth place gets 10, 8 points to sixth, 6 points to seventh, 4 points to eighth, 2 points to ninth, and 10th place. The rest right now is, I guess, not really a battle for the last points paying position, but it is a battle for an extra point. There's other additional points, fastest lap of the race, pole position, 0 incidents, and every 2-hour event you have points. He does make the pass here on Rob Stewart, moving him up to 9th place. Charbonnet just seems to be the class act with Gillo today. Currently has about a 2.3 second lead over Turcoat. Was mentioned to me earlier. Some of these guys are gonna come out here and be the class of the field. Looks like Charbonnet might be that class act tonight. About 26 minutes left to go in the session. 34 now. Nope. Yep, 34. My math. There. We do have another DNF to talk about. Chris Gill. You can see there coming out of the bus stop a couple laps ago. That was enough damage for him to call it a night. let's go ahead and give you a quick update on the current track conditions. Nothing's really has changed. The wind coming out of the east at about that same 3, 4, 5 mile per hour range. Feeling nice. Back temperature of 69. Just blinking. Might actually be blinking. It just might be my sim, by the way. I didn't really talk about much about Paul Smith tonight. He's currently running P11, about 13, 14 seconds off of 8 points paying position here tonight. Some 35 minutes into the session, our fastest lap of the race does happen to go to P3. So that'd be awarded a bonus point of Eric Chapeau. He ran a 143.947. I can tell you what lap that came on. And, says if you have 0 incidents. I'm pretty sure some of these guys who have incidents, my timing screen doesn't keep track of any incidents. There comes Kevin Freese. He's going to come down pit road here. Looks to be potentially. Now, I did say this potentially could be his last stop of the race. All right. Like I said, he did take it. Let's see here. Some quick numbers. He did take it 15 laps, so 14 coming to 15. This potentially will be his last stop. The window does open for everyone else, right? Right now, it's currently down pit road. Again, these guys are not out of the realm of possibility to come and do these early stops, try to stretch it to whoever they can. We see it in the Premier Series all the time. Kevin Freese comes down pit road. He takes 22.3 seconds worth of fuel. He's off and on his way. Like I said, Rittenauer's on pit road. We saw Kevin Freese when he did make his stop is about 9 seconds worth of fuel, 10.7 for Rittenauer. Looks like Etheridge will come back out. He does have an opportunity to go out there and gain P12. But Rittenauer and Kevin Freese have both made their final stop of the evening. The now battle for P7 is still a thing. That's about around that second. And these drivers need to capitalize potentially on the corner exit here off of 7 and off of turn 11, the end of the bus stop. Trying to make a run down track. So it's within the draft, enough draft there. Go ahead and ride on board with Rob. He shifts down to P3. We haven't seen much people shift down to P3 through the bus stop. About 6/10 of a second. We've seen Dupo, Turcoat usually around that range. Doesn't look like it's closing in fast enough to potentially do anything here into turn number 1. About that 4/10 of a second range behind Badu. He gets out on the first gear there. Another situation that's a tricky spot to do it because this is one of those corners. How I kind of explain it, it's where you're still turning and coming off. So if you down in the first gear, usually gives the opportunity for those tires to slip, potentially spin you around here. See what happens here for Stewart going into 6. Down first gear. Not something we've seen out of the leaders today. Second through there, that's what we've seen. He's about a half second off. Oh, no one else has pitted. The fuel window, again, I think the fuel window, oh, for 20 minutes remaining, we ran about 6-7 laps. The fuel window's open. Opportunity to come down, put the fuel you need to make it to the end of the race, call it a day. Potentially make some potential passes here. Again, 6 seconds off here for Stewart. You know, that gap looks to be growing. Doesn't seem like he got a good exit there off 11. But something happened at Etheridge, according to my prompter here. Let's see, Matthew Badu has come down pit road. Again, fuel window's open for those of you keeping track at home. Badu looks like he's... Oh, don't tell me he's putting tires on. You just blinked there. Nothing really. But I do come down pit road with a 22.7 second stop. Might have an opportunity to put fresh tires on. And what some YouTuber in the eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola series says, never doubt those freshies. Might be a situation. Those freshies, Matt. I'm not driving the car, so I can't tell you if that's the incorrect call or not. Etheridge did get that pass made on Gale. He's up to 12th place. Pamitat's come down pit road, potentially for his last stop. Hopefully, he takes some gas only here. Doesn't look like tires are up on that. 5, 6, 7. 12-second stop. Enough fuel to potentially make it to the end here. So Pamitat, Badu, Freeze, Rittenauer have all come down and made their final stop of the race. Down 18 minutes remaining in the session. Pamitat's going to come back on the track and stay in front of Kevin Freeze. So everything ran after the initial stops here for those who did the normal strategy instead of the reverse strategy. Pamitat stays in front of Freeze. Granted, he's some 1 minute behind a race leader in Charbonnet. Doesn't look like it really gained much ground there by doing the reverse strategy. And we have trouble. Turcoat's down pit road, by the way. Trouble. Babadoo. I might be wasting my time here with the potential. No, he does overshoot it. No. Oh, it gets in the grass. No. Makes contact with the inside wall. Things you do not like to see. Oh, and this is right in front of the leaders. Turcoat did come down pit road. He took 16.7 on his pit stop. He take tires. Interesting. Does Charbonnet come down pit road this time? That's the question. How long is he willing to wait to pit? Turcoat came out P4. Again, he took what looked to be about 5 seconds longer than we see from those drivers from the Lucky Donga racing team here. Kevin Freeze and Rittenauer. Pamitat with about an 11-second stop. like Carbonet is going to come down pit road this time. He's going to go after running another lap. 25 laps in. Reaching that 45 minute, that 3/4 mark left in the session. Now, Drapeau doesn't look like he's going to pit either. Kevin Hash here to 3/4. He decided to make the hard left-hand turn down pit road. Again, the fuel run looks to be about 15 laps. Drivers currently are at 11 laps, 10-11 lap mark. Third coat came down about that 9-10 mark. Kevin Hash stays out. Again, there is at least one more pit stop in here. There's no way these guys can make it the next 15 minutes, anywhere between 10-ish laps. There's not enough fuel in these cars. These cars get 50% fuel load in them. So unlike your normal Daytona 24-hour, your GT3 lobbies, your normal Ferrari, your Porsche, your official lobbies, these are half the fuel load. So you're potentially playing the risk here of being out-strategized by someone else. Kevin Hash did, by the way, recover. He's currently up to P3. Was running P4 before Kurt Cote came down pit road. I haven't checked on Brian Klusterhuis in a while. His Mercedes currently is running P5 from the Shoulder Boys. Killer Boy Racing. Chris Gale. Brian Klusterhuis' teammate, say. He's about 1.7 behind. Payment did come down pit road already. Made his final stop. These guys are choosing to run it long. Run it long, take enough fuel to make it to the end. Less time on pit road. That's their strategy? That's the only thing I can think of. Keeping the opportunity of, gaining time on those drivers who've already pitted by just running your car dry. That might be a better strategy. It is a strategy, though. By the way, Charbonnet been out front the whole entire race. I don't think anyone has led a lap other than Charbonnet today. He has clinched probably the most laps led. Don't believe there was a bonus point given out for the most laps led. Update on your fastest lap of the race point. Still looks, nope, it'll go to 92 Machine and Charbonnet with a 143.669. Your top two are currently the only two drivers in that 143 bracket. Turcoat was with a 144.098. Kevin Hash with a 144.442. Cameron with a 144.6, so 144.2 from Priest. Actually, Kevin Priest's best lap just came on his last lap ran. Approaching about that 12-minute mark, complete 48. Again, we have 3 DNQs and Gil, Raudenbush, and Ott all suffering issues at some point in tonight's event. Your 10th place battle right now isn't really much fun to talk about, as Babadoo is a lap down. Sorry, Badu is a lap down. Sorry for mispronouncing your last name there just a second ago. About 53 seconds behind. Right now, or whatever, since his spin early on tonight. He is closing on Paul Smith, potentially go from a point to 2 points. And he doesn't need to pit again. So there's a potential he will pass Paul Smith. Potential he could pass Rob. Is Rob Stewart being spot pissed up? Rob Stewart has not made his spot pissed up. Potentially could pass Rob Stewart. Potentially could pass Klusterhuis. Take a look at the time on pit road. He spent 42 seconds to keep out. Change situation for him. Potentially get up to P5. As he's already taken care of Paul Smith, so there's one spot down. He's up to P9. will not get past Turcoat. Or I think Kevin Hatch in P3 might be safe to stay in the top 5 as well. Yeah, they're approaching the mark here. They're starting lap 14. This lap 14 to 15 mark is when we saw these drivers come down pit road. Potentially could see this time. Mr. Poe does come down pit road this lap. Let's take a look and see what he does when he enters his pit box. Tires like to stay on the ground. And Poe could take about 10.7 seconds for the fuel. So he might not be taking less fuel. You can see Habitat, Grease, you guys, they took about 10 seconds worth of fuel. Booster Hurst is on pit road. Kevin Hatch is also on pit road. Bob Stewart's on pit road. Tires look to be up on that 03 machine. I think he might have forgot to turn those tires off. Oh no. Booster Hurst comes down, looks to be fuel only. 10.1 in the box for him. Stewart looks to be taking tires, unfortunately. But there goes Rittenauer. Rittenauer does get past Klusterhuis. Paul Smith gets past Klusterhuis. Charbonnet, by the way, coming looks to be through bank 3 and 4. Dips below the double yellow line. Allowed to do that here in this version of the road course of the Daytona. And he'll come down and make his final stop of the race. Now, here's the question. Does him running a lap longer, 42 seconds, by the way, 42.4, is what Poe spent for his whole time down pit road? Could that potentially be in the factor here for the leader here with about 8 minutes to go? And your answer is no. Poe coming off of turn 3 and 4 on the oval, while Charbonnet is coming off the pit road. He'll cut into the lead. He'll cut into it a tiny bit, but not enough. As it's now the battle for second here between Turcoat and Poe. Paul Smith has not made his pit stop yet. He's on his last lap. He's here and still about 7.5 minutes to go in tonight's bank. Race is pretty much locked up unless there's a mistake out of the end of Charbonnet. Battle for P2 pit upper grabs here. P4's upper grabs here. Really about it. 1.9, about 2 seconds behind Hatch. It's really just a battle between Poe and Turcoat and Habitat and Freeze for second and fourth. And Freeze is there though. After turn 7 going into bank 1 on the oval. Sorry, oval 1. 6 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here. Doing quick math. 3, maybe 4 laps to go. My timing sheet says potentially 35 laps is the race distance here tonight. It's been a pretty calm and relaxing race. So far here tonight, nothing out of the question here for these drivers. Expecting to see some drivers come out here and try something new, have something fun, make a mistake here. As the difference here between Freeze and Habitat is down to 1.2, sorry, 0.12. It's be about 0.2 here entering turn 1. That about that 4 laps to go mark. 5:45 remaining in the session. Freeze is kind of on the back bumper of Pamitat. Be sure we're live. Gap 3 seconds. Go about 17 seconds in front of this. Coming into banked, what looks to be banked oval 1. Now between Drapeau and Turcotte. Heading down the back straightaway. And the bus stopping a good exit here for Turcotte to make a potential battle going into turn 1. 0.2 of seconds is the difference here going into the bus stop from Pamitat and Kevin Freese. Freese gets there but makes a smart choice not to make past it, trying to get the run built off the bus stop. Back up the P2 battle. Turcotte's there. Gonna try on the outside. Does not get to happen though. Not gonna sit there for another lap. Coming down the front straightaway to the start finish line. Kevin Freese is there. He's on the inside of Pamitat. Heading into turn 1. They get close. I don't think they make contact. Into turn 1. Oh no, around those Freese! No! Kevin Freese trying to make it stick there on the inside. Has to stay on the brakes. Gets on the brakes a little too hard. Flips it around. We'll have to settle it for P5. Let's watch it one more time. And Kevin Freese is there. Doesn't look like contact. Doesn't look like any potential net code. And it's just one of those situations. It's just on the brakes hard. Trying not to make contact with each other, and he just loops around. You can see that, but he does have about 8.5 second gap here on Rittenhour. Have top 5 secured. About that 2 lap to go mark, 2.5 laps to go. Turcotte still trying to see if he can formulate a run to get around Drapeau. Charbonnet, by the way, has a 9.1 second. I mentioned that. That's going to be coming down about 0.3 of a second here, using that draft. Trying to build that slingshot, coming to the line. 2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the session. Again, about 2 laps to go. If I had to guesstimate, about 2 laps to go. It all depends when the leader gets there. But Turcotte's kind of on the back bumper, not enough to say hello on there. It's their 2, 3, 4. Sorry, entering 4 now. Getting off turn number 4, gets off of 4, a little bit worse than Drapeau. Turcotte. He's about 0.6 of a second back now. Question is, has he used his tires up enough? Entering turn 5 here. Looks to send it a little bit deeper in. Might pay for it off the corner exit. About 0.7 of a second of difference here coming through oval turn 1. Looking where Charbonnet is, he's entering the bus stop. So this tends to be coming to the white flag lap. 0.1 of a second is the difference here entering the bus stop between Drapeau and Turcotte. Not really there this time. It's about 0.7 of a second off of Drapeau. Coming to the line with a minute 15 remaining. Not looking to get the white flag. So it looks like we'll be 2 to go. Okay. Alright. So about 2 to go. No driver going to get the white flag here. The session we did last night came to about that mark in the race. White flag got thrown. But with about 50 seconds left, drivers are racing up for a final lap here. Here we go. Turco looks like he checked a little bit harder there for Turco going into turn 4. Coming into turn 5, see Turco can get a decent run through here. A really position on track doesn't look like it's going to change on track. Yeah, usually the only spot that was going to be upper position here. But everything else is really set. Banked turn 1. They will have a potential of a lap car here to help Drapeau this draft. Don't tell me they got the white flag in the middle of a lap. Charbonnet has a 10.5-second lead over Turco. He's going to come off of turn 4 here, coming to the checkered flag. That is the end of the race. I'm so confused. Fireworks are going off. Race winner was not in doubt. Charbonnet. Charbonnet, I am sorry for that terrible final call. That there is on me. Look at the countdown. It didn't look like it was the end of the race. Eric Drapeau will come home P2. Oliver Turcotte will be P3, finishing out your podium. Hamilton will look like round out in P4. Kevin Freese coming through turn 12 here, coming down to the front straightaway. Will finish out your top 5. Well, Luke Charbonnet is your race winner tonight. Putting on a dominating race here tonight. Last act of the field, but I think he led from flag to flag. Anyone else on the lap made the right strategy call. Top 3 look. The top 3 look to make the top. No, top 3 made the right strategy call. Different strategies here tonight. I keep moving. That's interesting. We'll go ahead and quickly, not quickly, we'll go ahead and go over your results of the event tonight. And these are unofficial, anything could change. But more than likely they are official. Luke Charbonnet in that BMW M4 GT3 car out of the SFTV Sim Sports group. Easy race winner tonight. He had a 10.5-second lead over the rest of the field. Eric Drapeau on the Audi R8 is your P2. Oliver Turcotte will round out your podium position here in the Ferrari. And all out of that SFTV Sim Sports group are your top 3. Brandon Habitat out of Maverick Motorsport is P4. Kevin Freese, Kevin Hash, Ray Rittenauer, Brand Kluster, Rob Stewart, and Paul Smith will round out your points paying positions. Matthew Badu, Carson Etheridge, Chris Gale, Jason Roundenbush, and Tristan Ott will round out your field tonight. Gale, Roundenbush, Ott all finished with the F tonight. Here's the question. Give me a second here to see if I can move people around. have access to move people now. Let's just go ahead and by moving race winner, the 92 machine, Luke Charbonnet, up into the booth here. Luke, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, Alex.
That's great to hear. I just want to make sure I was saying your last name correctly all night long. It's Charbonnet, correct?
It's Carbono.
Carbonneau.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I will make sure we have that correct from the broadcast here on out tonight. As you did put on a pretty dominating performance tonight. Is there any other way you want to describe it?
It was really a lot of fun at the start of the race with Ryan Tonor, just between me, Eric, and Olivier. It was really fun. I just keep my pace, and Olivier just tried to maybe short stop to put a little bit more gas, a little bit less gas in the first stop, so he tried to stay behind me. But even if I got the car really full of gas, I've been able to just pull away and just stay on myself and keep the pace.
I do have a question. Were there any tires taken by you today?
I didn't take any tires. I keep the same strategy that I use normally when I'm doing an endurance race. I just keep my tire and going away. For 1 hour, it's not really useful to change a tire on track like that. Maybe if you're on a track where you need really a lot of grip and a lot of downforce, maybe that's gonna be useful to change the tire. But here with the long stretch, you don't have to change the tire at all.
All right, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank for your T1 finish tonight?
I gotta thank SFTV. It's the broadcaster in French for sim racing, so thanks to them, and also to Eric Godot and Olivier, and mostly to Eric to invite me to come in this league.
Well, congratulations on your win tonight. Be fun watching you in the next 7 races. Go out there and put on the performance like you put on tonight.
I think that Eric and Olivier is gonna be more strength, more there. In the next races.
We shall see. That is P1 tonight. Luke, I'm gonna have to ask for it one more time before I send you out of here.
Luke Carbonneau.
Luke Carbonneau, race winner tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
That is your race winner. P2 tonight goes to the 97 machine. Eric Drapeau. Hello, Eric.
Hey, Alex.
P2 tonight. Seemed to be one of the top 3 cars in the field tonight. How would you describe your weight? How would you describe your race?
Hey, man. Tough contest. Right out the gate, Ray did a great move on the inside in turn 1. Kind of took me by surprise. I thought I could hang it all the way out, but he took P2 there. Unfortunately for him, he spun a little later. Got lucky to avoid that without any damage. After that, we knew as a team that we only had to manage the pace. Luke was far gone.
Mm-hmm.
Olivier tried a different strategy on the second pit stop, which put him ahead because he took a little less fuel. I knew I could catch that up on the second one, but those final few laps, let me tell you, were something else.
I'm not gonna lie, that was probably one of the only battles on track was between you and Olivier. I'm make sure I'm gonna get these names right for next week. You're a normal here. I got your name down pretty well, Eric. All right, real quick before we let you go, any final words? Anyone you want to thank?
Well, thank you to you, Alex, first of all, for hosting this wonderful broadcast. Nice to see that it was broadcasted. I kind of learned about that earlier, but thanks to the ITRL for putting this up. Dylan Sawyer. Thanks to the SFTV SimSport team, which is Luke and Olivier and myself. SFTV is your sim racing reference in Quebec, and glad to be here for the whole season.
It's great. Hopefully, we see a lot of action between you 3 going on the rest of the season, Eric.
Yeah, for sure. 3 different cars should be very interesting to watch as each will get their own advantage. And I know Luke and Olivier will be missing a few races, maybe 1 or 2 each. So I'll make the championship a little spicier.
great information to know. Well, Eric, I hope you have a great rest of your night, and congrats on P2.
Thank you.
That was our second place finisher, Eric Drapeau. Now that leaves P3, Oliver, your coach. Oliver, I just want to make sure I got everything pronounced right. Turcoat?
Yep, Turcotte. That's the proper pronunciation.
Yeah. 1 for 3. I knew I had to get one of the 3 correct. Congratulations on your P3 tonight. Seems like both Eric and Luke have mentioned that you were playing a little bit of different strategy to see if you could potentially shake things up.
Yeah, and I actually I didn't tell them I was going to try that strategy. I was like, yeah, you know, the standard strategy is just to, you know, you fuel, you just fill up the tank and you go until it's empty, and then you fill it up again. And I was like, okay, let's see. Okay, that's 70 liters. Yeah, I'm not using freedom units. Sorry, guys. So yeah, that's this. Okay, let's try half and half and see what happens. And yeah, I overshot my my pit box twice, and that's partly why I came back behind Eric. But he had some nice pace on the laps. He was he was overcutting me. So I actually kudos to him. Very nice race on his side, and especially on that stint, he did pretty well.
Like I was telling Eric, I wasn't gonna lie. Last couple laps there, the battle for P2 was probably the only battle on track. Me and Eric probably put on probably some of the most interesting battles we've seen here tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank? Anything else you want to mention? Shout out?
Well, I'd like to thank you, Alex, for this broadcast. As usual, I've actually watched a few of your broadcasts. Nice. So thanks for this broadcast. Also, my teammates, Luc and Eric, thanks to them. Also, SFTV, which is our own little thing in French, our broadcast thing in French, and DJMix.ca. You've probably noticed it on my rear wing. That's where I DJ twice a week. So if you want to join in and you like electronic music, just go over there and have some fun.
I will have to take a further look at the rear wing of your car because I did not notice that. We'll take a look at that at some point in the near future. Again, congratulations on your P3 finish tonight, Oliver.
Well, thanks, Alex, and have a good evening.
You too. And that was your P3 finisher tonight, Oliver Turcotte. That's going to do it here for the Iron Thunder Racing League VRX GT3 Series, race number 1. We'll be back next week, same time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, from the virtual Sebring. I don't think I've ever watched a race from there, so I'm gonna have to learn that track real quick to see what's going on. But yeah, we'll be live again same time next week, July 25th. But that'll do it for me. We'll see you guys next week.